Hey y'all, welcome back to Tea with Mesha. Thanks for tuning in again. Today I am drinking a green tea because we got to get straight to it. Today we're getting straight to it. So in the book of Matthew, there is a story where the Pharisees and the Sadducees come to Jesus trying to test him. Mind you, this is during the time Jesus is on earth doing his assignment. You know, he's walking, he's performing miracles and all of these things. And the Pharisees and Sadducees have been right there, right along, taunting him, trying to, catch him in a lie or just anything. They're really just trying to do anything to prove that Jesus is not the Messiah, and it's like blasphemy, right? And they come to Jesus trying to test him, and Jesus is like, are you able to interpret the sky, but you can't interpret my presence on earth? Like, you can't interpret what's going on right now. How do you not know what time it is? How do you not know that I am the Messiah, right? Matthew 16:2-3 says, "But he replied to them, when it is evening, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning it will be storming today, for the sky is red and has a threatening look. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but cannot interpret the signs of times." It makes sense that back then they spent a lot of time watching the patterns of the sky, of the wind, of the temperature to determine what the weather is going to be like the night of or the day before. I mean, they didn't have smartphones. They couldn't watch the news. There were no weather apps. So they had to pay attention to the signs around them in order to draw any conclusion on what the day would be like. And reading this really made me think of myself. Like, Jesus is basically telling them, I've given you all the signs. The Pharisees and Sadducees have seen Jesus perform miracles before. And he's like, I've given you all of the signs. I've given you everything that you need to draw an obvious conclusion about who I am. But your stubbornness is preventing you from even trying. So even if Jesus was to perform 100 miracles right there, they still wouldn't believe because they already decided to have a cold heart towards it. And so I'm thinking like, wow, God, way to call me out, because what areas in my life am I stubborn where I'm like, God, show me another sign. Tell me again. Give me confirmation. And God is like, why? You've already made it up in your mind that you're not going to move forward with it anyway. You've already made it up in your mind that you don't trust me anyway. You already made it up in your mind that you don't have the faith anyways. So why would I continue to put myself in situations of showing you miracles when I know that your heart ain't gonna budge? The story goes on to show that Jesus went to the disciples to warn them against the Pharisees and the Sadducees. But the disciples are too caught up in their own mind about leaving behind bread before they made it to this next journey. And so when Jesus is like, be watchful of your livings, they're like, oh, he knows we forgot the bread. But Jesus being Jesus, he's like all knowing. He's like, you men of little faith. You men of little faith. How are you even worried about bread right now? Matthew 16:8-10 says, "But Jesus, aware of this, said, you men of little faith, why are you discussing among yourselves that you have no bread? Do you still not understand or remember the 5 loaves for the 5,000 and how many baskets you picked up? Or the 7 loaves for the 4,000 and how many large baskets you picked up? Why do we waste our time trying to figure out what God is doing or figure out if it's really God speaking when he's given us enough evidence to draw some obvious conclusions about who he is?" These disciples were a part of the miracle of Jesus breaking bread. They were a part of the miracle of Jesus handing out food to thousands and thousands and thousands of people on 2 separate occasions. And you think that because you left some bread, you were going to starve? Like, how could your faith even be there? How small can your faith be that you're worried about something that you don't even need to be worried about? It's like they're wasting their faith on things that God has already proven himself in. God has already been a provider in those situations. Why are you worried about that right now? I even think about that in my own life. God has already done so much where I shouldn't even be wasting my faith in those areas. He's done so much where it's like, I know that God got me. I know that he's going to provide for me. I know that he's going to heal me. I know that he's going to protect me. I know that he's going to do all of these things. And when you think about it, we have resources to confirm the evidence that is given to us. We have the word, we have our personal life, and we have the lives of other people. We have the word because in the Bible, it's many stories of God being a provider, a healer, a guider, like all of these different things. He's doing these things multiple times and in abundance in the Bible. Even in my personal life, he's provided for me. He's helped me in times of need, brought me out of the dark. He has never forsaken me. Even when I have thought that he has, he was always right there. I mean, it's as small as me getting back and forth to work every day. Those little miracles are God being a protector over me, putting a shield of protection around me, being my comforter, helping me in my time of need. He's done it in my life multiple times. I have enough evidence to know he's going to show up. Even in other people's lives, there's a saying, Lord, I've seen you do it for others. Do it for me, Lord. That did not come out of thin air. It's because we've seen God move in other people's lives, just as we've seen him move in our lives, just as we've seen him move in the word. God has been a healer in the word. He's healed me. He's healed people around me. He's provided in the word. He's provided in my life. He's provided for people around me. God has turned bad things into good in the Bible, in my life, and in other people's lives. I have enough evidence in certain areas where it's like, why am I wasting my faith there? We have to stop being distracted by the no's or the rerouting or the waiting period. These moments are not areas for the doubt to win. These are not moments where you let your doubt win. That's exactly what the devil wants. If he is putting a pause on something, if he is stopping something, or he has you in a season of waiting, these are moments that God is orchestrating. So that means you better be obedient in it. If he's called you to something, he's not going to forsake you. He's not going to let you fail. Even last week, I talked about the Bible verse where God wants you to have peace and well-being. He does not want disaster over your life. But if you don't remember scriptures like those, you end up in these kind of situations where you're wasting faith in areas where you don't even need to put faith there. That's already guaranteed because I'm his child. Put your faith in those visions that you have in your head. If you're constantly having an image in your head where you're like, I can see my life here. Like I can see me standing on stage, but I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. That's where your faith needs to be going. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know why I'm going to get there. I probably don't even know what I'm going to be doing up there. But those are the things that you need to be putting your faith in, and stop wasting your faith on the how part, because God already has it figured out. Faith without works is for sure dead. I can have all the faith in the world, but also do your part. Remain obedient. Even if it's just in the first step, because once you take that first step, you think God is going to leave you and tell you to figure it all out by yourself? No. Once you take that first step, he's going to make sure that you know what the next step is, and he's going to guide you to the step after that. And anybody that needs to be a part of your journey will be there. So stop wasting your faith on things that do not matter. God already has a plan figured out, and he's waiting on you. Stop wasting your faith. Stop wasting your faith. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your energy. God has you covered from beginning to end. Remain obedient. Do what needs to be done so that you can achieve your goals. So you can walk in the purpose that God has for you. So you can experience true happiness. I mean, don't you want a little heaven on earth? What are some areas in your life are you wasting your faith in? Like, I really want you to put it in the comments. What's something that you're wasting your faith on? What's something that God has already given you enough evidence in that you know he's going to do it over and over again? We all deal with it. We all face it. But what's something that you deal with? And while you're at it, like and subscribe. I hope that this video was a blessing to you. I hope that it encourages you and reminds you of how powerful God is. But I do hope you all also have a great week. I will see y'all next Monday.